What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about increasing productivity for your, foremans, job foremans, whether you're installation manager, service manager, or you're the owner and you're taking phone calls throughout the day from everybody that's out in the field. Let's save some time with this video. So you guys know it's not going to be long. We're going to be running and gunning, doing PMs, doing scheduled maintenances. And when we get into doing this, there's a lot of phone conversations, a ton of phone conversations. And I used to have this guy that I worked with for many years, great guy. He passed away several years ago, but every time he would call me, he would say, well, he'd call me. He had to ask me a question of some kind. He would say, "Oh, craziest story. Well, first I went around to the gate and it was padlocked. So I get around to the front and nobody's home. So I called the lady and she says that there's a key under this rock. Well, I looked under the wrong rock and I went under and I finally found the key. So I finally got into the back gate and finally got in the house and then the cat was just about got out, but anyhow, I finally get down to the furnace, and this filter hasn't been changed in years and years and years. I mean, it's crazy. You should see this filter. I kept it in my van. I'm going to show it to you when I get back to the shop. And then and he'll just go on and on and on and on and on when I just need you to get to the point. Like I've got my phone's beeping because the next guy's calling me that's got a question. So we have to solve this before we get into the crazy time of the season, and we wind up spending, an extra hour on the phone each and every day just listening to the backstory behind that's just a backstory. I want to hear about what your actual problem is. And then we finally get to the conversation. He's like, well, I've got this and it's the gas valve and it cost X amount. How much should I charge for it? I came up with this. I just wanted to check with you and see if that's good. Well, we could have started with that, right? We didn't have to listen to the whole story. So it's really important before we get really busy this year to have these conversations with everybody, to make sure we're not having this conversation, extended conversations, because that is a productivity destroyer. And we just don't have time when we got the next thing on our plate to go do, or the next call that's coming in. We just don't have time to spend, listening to the whole entire backstory. So be sure to have that upfront communication. That's the thing when it comes to anything that you want to change within your company or in your business or with your team or as a leader or as a manager, is to have that upfront communication and just tell them right away, look, when you call me this summer, when we get busy, I need you to get right to the point. Tell me what the question is. Tell me as quickly as possible, because we can't waste time listening to an entire backstory. We've got time for that. When we got time for that, I'd love to hear those stories. And we could talk all day about these different service calls that we go on, because it's entertaining and we can all relate. But during the work day, when we're really busy and we got a ton of stuff to do and a ton of stuff to get done, a ton of customers to take care of, we just simply don't have time to hear the backstory on every single call. So have that conversation with your team. Be sure that they understand the severity of this and how long, when you've got 5, 6, whatever, it could be 2, 3, 4 guys calling you, and every time you get this long backstory, you're spending an extra 2 hours on the phone that's just unnecessary. And that pulls you away from getting your work done. And you've got just as much work as they do when we're really busy. So have the conversations. You'll have a more productive summer and go make money. Boom.